What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support, guys. Listen, we all heard the news out of Arlington, Virginia. Shout out Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And it's about this gentleman up here, James Yu, 56 years old, from Arlington, Virginia. This is the guy who blew the house up out there, rattling the block with a standoff with police. Supposedly this guy was a conspiracy theorist, an avid conspiracy theorist, lined his windows with aluminum foil, went on a lot of rants on his YouTube channel and Twitter and all kind of social media, contacting the FBI multiple times over the years, so much the way they didn't take the guy serious. And now this happens. Now, I'm going to play this news article. I waited a little bit before I did this. I waited a couple of days so more facts came out. A body has been supposedly recovered, but they saying it'll take months for them to identify, but presumably they think it is one said James Yu. Check out this news article and we'll come back and talk a little bit.
Lit up the sky, shook homes, rattled neighbors' nerves, and this is all that's left now of this home in Arlington. The explosion you just saw, reducing it to rubble, and police now say that the suspect is likely to have died in that blast. Hello and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Leon Harris.
And I'm Susan Hogan. UN has the evening off. This whole ordeal started around 4:45 yesterday afternoon, and neighbors called police saying a man was firing a flare gun into the sky. Investigators say in all, the suspect fired around 30 to 40 flares.
And around 4 hours later at 8:30 p.m., police say the suspect fired multiple gunshots and then did not respond when officers tried to coax him out of the home. And then that explosion happened.
And Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder is live where this all went down. Now, Drew, police gave us a lot of new information in a news conference earlier this afternoon. What do they have to say?
Yeah, that's right, Susan. Just within the last 90 minutes, we got a lot of new information from both local police and federal law enforcement agencies who are telling us tonight who they believe this suspect was and some really interesting details about his past. The suspect allegedly had been communicating with the FBI for years. All of this very bizarre backstory leading up to last night and the massive blast that sent literal shockwaves through this neighborhood. Police had the house surrounded with armored vehicles last night as officers shouted at the suspect to come outside. Seconds later, the house exploded. The blast was so strong, it shook homes down the street.
I was sitting down in my couch and I physically recoiled.
And you could feel the concussion inside our townhouse.
Police were called to the house in Arlington's Bluemont neighborhood around 4:30 Monday evening for reports of a man shooting off a flare gun. A neighbor shot this video of one of those flares. Then just before 8:30 is when the house blew up. With burning debris raining down, police dashed to secure the neighborhood.
Shut down that intersection. Whoever else I have on here, shut down Wilson and Mason.
Elizabeth Johnston had just put her baby down to sleep when she looked through her window to see the explosion. In a moment, police were at her door to evacuate her.
Hey, everybody get out on foot. Just leave now. They were worried about a secondary explosion.
On the ground today, ATF and Arlington Explosive Unit detectives walked blocks of debris with pieces of mail and papers blasted hundreds of yards away from the house.
Based on the preliminary investigation of this incident, we believe that the resident of the home, James Yu, 56 of Arlington, is the involved suspect.
Arlington County Police say they're aware of James Yu's social media activity, including a LinkedIn page where he shared pictures of his neighbors and alleged they and their families were spies. On YouTube, he has several videos outlining legal cases in which he alleges multiple parties have committed fraud. The FBI says Yu had sent those allegations to them for years.
I would characterize these communications as primarily complaints about alleged frauds he believed were perpetrated against him. The information contained therein and the nature of those communications did not lead to opening any FBI investigations.
Arlington County Police say they've recovered remains from the wreckage, but it could likely be weeks, if not months, until they confirm if it was James Yu. It could be even longer until they understand why. So again, police believe that the suspect here, James Yu, was killed inside.
All right, guys, that's the story of one's demise of 56-year-old James Yu. Now, obviously, this guy had some type of problem, some type of mental problem. You got a lot of people out here that are conspiracy theorists. A lot of people get a kick out of that. That don't mean they crazy, but this guy right here was on another level. He was an avid Star Trek fan. He thought he was Dr. Spock. Believed in government conspiracies saying that they were going to, like people put the foil up so they think their phones are tapped and like all these infrared signals come in there and spy on them like they have some importance. This guy right here was on another level. And his neighbors said he was very reclusive. He was kind of like he had him unsettled. Hell, they put aluminum foil on his windows. Going on rants against the government, talking with the FBI, sending letters to them. And they like, but I mean, sometimes you got to take people serious. I mean, this goes all the way back to mental illness. Maybe he didn't want to get help. Maybe it was nobody there. Or sometimes people like this run other people off because they're so annoying, they hard to even be around. Some people just rather get away from them than seek help. But then again, sometimes they won't even accept help because they think nothing's wrong with them. Obviously, breaking this down, that was a gas fire. That explosion, that was a gas explosion. You can tell the way it blew up. The blast was so big, guys, that if you look back at it and you look at the video again, it blew the house up off the foundation and then it crumbled. You seen on my thumbnail what was left. It was a duplex. It was two houses. It was one house, but it was two split into two units down the middle. Luckily, there was nobody next door at the time. Then surprisingly, nobody got hurt on the block. That whole explosion, nobody got hurt, which was a good thing. But I mean, they said they recovered the body. It's going to take a long time to figure out who it is because I mean, the thing with the body singed and stuff, but presumably it was him. They opened the door, had it barricaded from the front and the back so he couldn't have got out. Told him to come out. Depending on what news outlet you see or what story you saw, supposedly he let off 4 shots out the front door, like doom, 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 just letting them off. They brought in the armored vehicle right when they almost got close. Big explosion. You know what I mean? So I guess he must have turned the gas on and he got to where he couldn't take it no more. He started getting lightheaded and just lit a match or something. Gave up the ghost. But I mean, we all got crazy neighbors. But James Yu was one of them. James Yu was one of the ones that put it at the top of the list. You never know who's living next to you. Could be a patron saint, or it could be the devil next door. Luckily, this guy blew himself up and didn't take anybody else with him. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share. In fact, let me stop for a second before I get out of here. Let me say one more thing. What if this guy was right? I'm just saying, all of the stuff that happened, and maybe he had a serious complaint with all of these people he was wanting to file lawsuits against and had complaints against. What if he was right? What if he wasn't crazy? You know, we see movies sometimes, people be on the stuff. There's something to think about. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.